Guys, this is the post-game show, Locked On Eagles, your daily Philadelphia Eagles podcast. We thank you for making Locked On Eagles your first listen each and every day. I'm Louie DiBiase. He's Gino Camilleri. We're recapping a frustrating loss to the Giants, 13-7. And Gino, as we were saying in segment one, we kind of learned who this team is. Short term, we still have the same long-term questions. And this game just kind of confirmed like who they are and, you know, what it's going to take to make the playoffs this year and, you know, what it's going to take next year and beyond to sustain long-term success. Like the run game again today was incredible, right? Over 200 rushing yards. Jalen Hurts, 8 carries for 77 yards. Boston Scott, 15 for 64. Miles Sanders, 9 for 64. He had Boston Scott had a rushing touchdown as well. So the run game was efficient, and that's going to be the way that they're going to have to win games and make the playoffs down the stretch, like the team I always compare them to, and you compare them to as well in segment one, that Baltimore Ravens, 2018 offense. But Gino, again, long-term though, this is something you can do short-term. Like you can still get by and beat the Giants in this next game they have in a couple of weeks. You can beat Washington, who you play soon, and the Jets.
Yeah.
Yes, you can win short-term continuing that strategy. But today showed you why that can't always be the one blueprint to win. You have to be multiple. You have to be able to win in different ways because each game, there's going to be different situations. Like you're not always going to have a 2-score lead and win the ball game that way. There's going to be times where you start off slow and you're down by 10 points. You're down by multiple touchdowns. And there's going to be times where a defense just gets the best of your run game, right? And you have to throw the football. Like people say run to open up the pass, but not enough people talk about passing to open up the run too.
Right.
You have to make defenses respect you in that way. And today in that situation that I kept calling for this week to see Hurts back in that situation and see if he has now been improved enough to thrive in that spot, they came up shorter than they have earlier in the season. And that, again, is very discouraging because me and you both saw signs the last month that said, hey, yeah, obviously we both used context and said there's only 17 passing attempts on this sample size, but we're seeing some steps that maybe if they do throw 30 plus times, he can continue that up now. And that wasn't the case.
Yeah, when we had Mark Schofield on the QB1 show the other day, I asked him, what was the ceiling? And he said Dak Prescott. And now I look at that, I'm like, could I ever see Jalen Hurts throwing the ball 51 times in a National Football League game? Never in my life. And that's something that if you were watching any of the red zone today where the Colts and Bucks were going at it, it was a pass-happy game. The Bucks had to get back into it. They passed the football. That's what happens when you're a good team. You need a quarterback to get you back into games, right, Lou? Sometimes you have to elevate the talent around you.
Correct.
Jalen Hurts didn't do that one time today. And it's disappointing. And you mentioned it on the ground, like what he can do. And I would be a hypocrite if I didn't criticize on that part of his game. I've said it about Josh Allen. I've said it about guys like Lamar. Like if the first thing you have to say is talk about the quarterback's legs, you probably have a problem.
That's like, what we talk about during the draft is like, I say, if the first thing you have to tell me about a pass rushing prospect is his motor,
is his competitive
then we have an issue
motor,
because obviously that's a good thing that you want. And just like Jalen Hurts, obviously you want him to be mobile, but you're right. If that's the first thing you got to say, then my first inclination is, or my first suspicion is, all right, what aren't you telling me about him as a passer?
Right, absolutely. And we look at that Charger game a couple of weeks ago, right? We were like, oh, what would happen if he got the ball back? Well, he got the ball back twice today against a far inferior defense as opposed to the Chargers. And hats off to the Giants defense, Lou. They made Jalen Hurts beat them as a passer. They were saying, run all you want, Jalen, run all you want. But when you have to throw, we're going to make you pay for it. And they did. Those guys came to play, and they were undermanned. They were out Darnay Holmes and Adoree Jackson halfway through that game. They're undermanned at the safety position. James Bradbury isn't having as good of a season as he has been. The pass rush wasn't getting there like it hasn't been all season long. And then Jalen Hurts with 7 guys in coverage couldn't get it done. And as a quarterback, when I look at it, and I look today, Lou, and I see Daniel Jones able to identify the alert call or the hot call on blitzes.
Multiple
and then I look at Jalen Hurts today, and he has no idea where a blitz is coming from, no idea where his alert call is. And his first look is to drop his eyes and run away, which he wasn't doing with much success getting outside to the corner today. It's one of those things that I don't know if you can go up from there, because you're playing one of the worst defenses in football. When they played Tampa, you saw what happened. And Tampa wasn't even fully manned. Like, you play good defense, and this offense plays down to them. Outside of the Saints, who were also undermanned, I can't say that this offense has beat a superior defense one time this year.